Hi everyone, this is Zorina from Healnlearn, and I'm here again today with Joe and Cindy. Welcome.
Thanks for having us again.
I didn't mean to interrupt Joe's meditation or altered state. It comes and goes automatically, even with open eyes.
It's true.
So
Yeah.
we've all gone through an interesting period now with the lunar eclipse, the solar and the lunar eclipses, and I'm sure that everyone's been feeling it in their lives. And you just came back from a Sundance. What was that like? Could you please tell us a bit about that?
Yeah. Well, the Sundance is a 5-day ceremony we go to southern Alberta for that, where the dancers, they sacrifice food and water, and they sing, they dance, and they pray. And it is a full 4 or 5 days of ceremony of praying, sweat lodge, and just really connecting with the earth's energies and the sun energies as well. And yeah, a lot of ceremony, a lot of prayers. So a lot of energy happens there. And we go to southern Alberta for that ceremony, and we've been going for about 9 years now. And actually, a lot of European people come to the Sundance. It's a mix on an even scale of locals and Europeans, mostly from Germany.
What is the scale of this Sundance ceremony? How many people come?
This one, when it first started, it was quite large. A dancer will commit to 4 years. And so once their 4 years is up, then they usually kind of move on or continue another 4 years. And so this one, I think there was probably about 25 dancers, men and women. And yeah, so and then there's the supporters, which is what we were. We were the public, the supporters that are coming in and praying for them and smoking their pipes for them. And the smoking of the pipes is releasing the prayers that are filled in the bowl of the pipe. That's a whole nother teaching around it too. And yeah, so we just got back from that, and then the lunar eclipse happened. So on our journey back, which was a 9-hour drive throughout the night, we were coming back, and we pray and we're asking for changes in our lives, bringing us into our future. And what we were talking earlier was asking for visions of your future. And for example, I have been asking to have visions of my future, which is like an energy pull that will start pulling you towards that, because they're glimpses, they're hints. You get them in your dream time. And if you're asking to be aware of your visions, then you will remember those dreams. You will remember the energy or the feeling, or someone will share an insight with you, and it will stay with you because the energy already exists in the future and it's going to pull you to it. And I would say on that one for myself was about 2 weeks ago, I had a dream. And in my dream, I was driving my car with a remote control, and it got into an accident, but we weren't in the car, and nobody got hurt except for a dog got hurt. And and then there was something about responsibility for the accident. And when I told Joe about the dream, I said it had happened around that Antler Beach, which is up the highway from where we live. And so on our way back from Sundance at 2 a.m, a deer ran out at Antler Beach and smoked the side of my car, and sort of propelled change into our lives, because we're asking for change. And I did ask for a new car. And a friend asked, what color car would you want? And I said, a blue one. So anyways, the deer rode off my car, and I have a blue one lined up for me to purchase. And I don't know how this is going to happen, but I pray and I ask. And I believe that my prayers are being heard. And I give offerings through teachings from Joe, giving offerings to spirit like tobacco. And that whole Sundance was just prayers, prayers for you, and prayer for our business, and prayers for those that come to us and that seek us out for healings, that the spirits are there to help them into their future. So trying to make your prayers and what you're asking for big, and do the asking yourself, and watch the magic happen for you. So lunar eclipse lots of stuff shaking around. Mercury retrograde all at the same time, which is about the traveling and be careful with your travels. And I watched Crassy's video on that lunar eclipse and her week, and she's like, careful traveling, use caution. It's like, yes, she was right. And yes, in my transit chart, it showed that there could be disruptions with your vehicle, and there is. So we get hints everywhere. If you're just looking and you're investigating and doing the work and you're asking, answers are everywhere.
So are the sun dance ceremonies always done around the same time, around times of solar and lunar eclipses, or they're not oriented to astrology?
No, it's a lot of times as prayers, asking spirit when the ceremony is to be held for everybody and the right energies to assist everyone that's going to be in the ceremony. So every year, like usually we would do it around the end of July, but this year for certain reasons it got moved up to the beginning. So it is something that Pablo, he said he went and he asked Spirit, and Spirit told him to do it at this time. So this is why it went on. And with the Sundance, we, like Cindy said, we've been going for 9 years. But while I was there, I've been praying that maybe it's time to start moving in a new direction. So I said a lot of prayers about that closing and a new door opening for me and Cindy to walk forwards in whatever it is we need to open up. And after the ceremony, I went into the center of what we call the arbor. It's like a round circle, and it's broken into 4 sections. There's doorways and to the 4 directions and stuff like that. And I went and I stood at the tree, and I stood there and I was talking to all the spirits that I have been with for over 9 years since the time we built that, and talking to them about helping me and Cindy see in the directions we need to go in. And if this time is now done after 9 years of doing this ceremony, is there new pathways? Is there some more things I need to step into to open up bigger doors to assist the planet? Because I've been praying for people, praying for lots and lots of things, and asking that people start opening up their light to something bigger that's the future. So you attract that. You attract the people, you attract the teachings, you attract all the different things that are really important of why you came here and how to hold that energy and light. There was a sun dancer, he's a leader, and his wife came with him, and she's pregnant with some, well, basically I'll say twins.
Sorry, the connection broke a little bit, so I didn't hear well. You're pregnant? No?
The Sundance leader, his wife, she's pregnant.
Okay.
And so there's this new coming in and stuff like that. So it was really, really neat. And there was another girl that came that was pregnant that I knew from the past. And it was really nice to see her. And I got the message that lots of good things are coming to her. And her other children are growing up, so it was really nice to see that. And so for me to venture forwards, and these young ones are coming into the world, and they're in this ceremony and everything, and they're choosing to come into this earth. And so I did prayers for the new ones coming into the world, that they will bring in that knowledge that they won't let go of, and they will heal the planet, and they will do really big things to bring their blessings, and the universe will put a shield and a strength around them that they will succeed in all the things that they came here to do. So in doing that also, I asked to, while I was standing at the tree praying with my hands on the tree and asking all the spirits to come in and look at the purpose behind everything that I did for 9 years. And I gave everything back to the universe. I'm like, okay, after 9 years, I'm sending this back, and that this, whatever I had done now, can travel out into the world and touch people wherever, because I prayed really lots for like I say, the last 5 years for lots of big things. And now I'm asking the universe to bring that through. And for me now to step into this, because I've had visions of some other things I feel is important. I won't speak them out yet. They were shown to me in my dream time and other things, and I got glimpses of stuff in the future at the ceremony. So I just gave that back to the universe, and I'm like, okay, wherever this now will go, and however I'm meant to help people on this planet through your heal and learn, through Krasi, through anything I am doing, that somehow I can connect all these dots to fulfill my journey of why I came to be a human at this time.
So is this the formula of how people should ask? Actually, could you please tell people how to ask for their vision? Do you ask for something concrete? What is, like, as an example, do you, let's say I want to achieve, what do I want to achieve? I want to reach as many people as possible with Heal and Learn and help their lives. But do I ask for a specific vision for a certain goal that is attached to a certain goal, or do I ask for a vision in general? What is the vision of my life? How do you ask?
Well, basically there's a purpose of why you chose to be a human at this time and why you're creating all of this. Everybody has a path. Everybody shines a light and touches somebody in some way. So when we're asking for a vision, you can say remote viewing. There's lots of cultures have different ways of saying these things. And everybody needs to find that inner language that feels right for them. I know a lot of people are getting more and more familiar with the words remote viewing, because it allows you to see something outside that will come in at a point, and the universe proves it. So it's not something you're trying to prove. When I go and do a vision quest, I go and I make a commitment with the universe ahead of time that I'm going to go and do this. And so I will pray and pray. Sometimes for a month or 2 months, I will do my prayers. And then when it feels right, I will go off into the mountains or someplace, and I will spend 4 days alone praying and asking the universe that somehow I see or understand, so I know where I'm walking to and how am I able to help people. So inside me, I sit for 4 days without food and water is my way. I choose to do it my ancestors' way. This is not everybody else's way. The Jews, they have their vision quest. They go into the desert. And even in the Bible, they did this. They go out there, they set up a tent, and they pray, but they pray for a whole month. They spend a whole month in the desert doing their vision quest. And they go without food and water for the day, but at night before they go to sleep, they eat. And then they go to sleep, and the next day they pray again for something to help them to see. The Bible talks about all the different people in the Bible, how they had visions, how Moses or whoever it was that saw the burning bush and the voice talked to him. So he had a vision.
I would ask to see the future of my business. What is the future of Heal and Learn? Mm-hmm. And just release it. And, don't revisit it all the time. Know that you've asked. And then just when you get glimpses of it, get excited. Be like, ooh, that's a good idea. That feels really good. And the energy builds.
Mm-hmm.
Same for astrology. There are some astrologers that are very, very intuitive, and they get glimpses of things. It's not actually the
reading of the chart. Mm-hmm.
Just like focusing on the chart and seeing all of that. It's like looking into a crystal ball or doing tarot cards. All of a sudden they get these glimpses of stuff that they share with you, and this is a channeling or something that's offered and presented to you. And do you really want to manifest? Do you want to bring that in? Is that something there's some energy in it that's gonna assist you? Once you know that, and there's something lights up inside you, it's the same thing. And the universe is constantly giving us answers different ways, but sometimes we're too busy, we're not paying attention.
Which is when you have the deja vus, those are glimpses of the future. So when you get a deja vu, like I've seen this before, or I've been here before, get excited, because that's you recognizing that somewhere in your past you were shown this. So those are visions of your futures. So the deja vus are reaffirming that you are exactly where you're meant to be because you've seen it before. Oh, you froze.
I think it's probably still recording it somewhere. There's a blip or something.
Yeah.
Because it says recording up there.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping this is getting recorded and this in some way will make sense. There's even like people who have palmistry. And through looking at your palm, they can see things and give you answers to all sorts of things. We have a native lady who's a palmist, and she looked into my hand and she saw all these spirits, and she told me there was a path where I would move away for a while. She said it would be a couple of years, then I would come back. And when I came back, all these things would happen. And that's what she saw in my hand. That was a vision she was given and the thing she was told to share with me. There's a lady who did a teacup reading for us, and she saw a whole bunch of stuff in the teacup. And then she started staring off into space, and she just started channeling all this information and stuff to me. And it just came through really strong. There was another one I went to, a woman was very psychic. And when I sat down with her, she stepped out of her body and she let one of my guides come in to give me all sorts of information as to part of my journey and my path. And when she got back in her body, she's like, that's the first time that ever happened to me, that I stepped out where somebody else's spirit literally talked to the person. So all these things were shared with me, and these are sometimes part of my vision confirming things with me. So everybody has their own language. Everybody has their own ways of connecting these things to open them up, and just trust the universe has always been there ever since you were a baby to fulfill things. So sometimes it's okay, I'm going to trust Creator, because Creator has manifested and brought worlds and galaxies and beings into creation. So I'm going to let them bring through what I have designed on my journey into the future.
But how are you sure that that you're going to get a positive vision? What if you get some, dramatic vision of your future that you're not wishing for?
Well, like my car getting smashed. One could say, oh, no, I don't want my car to get wrecked. But it's just a car. We're okay. But it helps us to get rid of the old and now open the doors to new. And that's how the universe wanted it. I can interpret it very fearful, like, I love my car, it's paid for, and I can want to keep my car and hold on to it, or I can go into, be okay with however the universe wants. I'm sure,
Yeah, with the both of us, we could have created all kinds of illusions. We could have said it was a bad omen and that, but instead we're looking at it in a positive way. We're looking at it as some sort of divine intervention or something good. Instead of trying to see things negatively, it's too easy to do that. And I choose not to do that. I choose to try to find a way to hold things, believing that it's destined. And it is something, even if I can't see that far ahead at times, that the universe is always going to back me and help me to bring these things in. And sometimes just ask to sit with a stranger who is maybe a psychic or a spiritual person who doesn't know anything about you. I go to a Russian tarot reader, somebody in a little store you've never heard about in your life that doesn't know a freaking thing about you. Just walk in there and say, can you do me a reading? And just have them channel all this stuff. And they go, oh, that was something they didn't know. That was something they didn't know. And I knew all of this somehow. Somebody had told me. So that's right, and that's right. Because this person doesn't know you.
Right. But it also happens that they pick up a few things that are correct, and then 80% is correct, and then 20% is not. But you believe it all. And then in a way you also create your path because of your belief, because of your complete trust in what they tell you. So how do you discern then
Cindy, when she sits with psychics, she doesn't give them any information. She doesn't tell them anything. She's just like, you read, you tell me this, and it's a hit and miss. But if they're really plugged into the universe, they're going to tell you really lots of things that other people or you've already been given. And there's no way, if they don't know you, that they can do this. So somehow
I'm not judging whether they're genuine in predicting or in telling your fortune. I'm just thinking whether, because there are so many possibilities, and then they see one path of a possibility, but then maybe you at some point you jump at another path. So no matter how good they are, maybe you overpass these 80%, and then it's never 100% true, not because they're not good at fortune telling, but just because you chose your path a bit differently.
Yeah, and sometimes I would say, if this is true, prove it. And if it's not, that's okay. I just continue living every day.
That's a really big thing, is to let the universe assist in that. It's not about creating story or saying it's 100% or not. Everything is choice. Everything is the journey. Everything is something inside us, and everything steps in where it needs to assist. And when that comes through, then you just keep moving forwards. For me, I always tell the universe to prove these things that are there. And if it is on my path, it's going to happen. I'm not worried if things change. If things change, then there was a big reason why there was an intervention by the universe, or something stepped in to send me on that journey. Mm-hmm. It's like when you remote view, you saw a lot of things. And somewhere in there, there's a truth in what you saw. You have that inner knowing, and you have to find your inner knowledge. You have to have your inner language. Everybody has it from the time they're born. And that's those deja vus, that's those dreams, that's knowing, oh, I already sat with this person and had this conversation before. So you have all these things confirming there's a language inside you need to listen to. The more deeper you go in that, the more everything is going to come out that way. And people are only there to allow certain things through, and that's to help you. Like I say, for me, lots of things are shown to me, and I just go, okay, when this happens, then I was already shown this. And about 80-90% of the stuff I see usually comes through. And then the other part I don't really worry about.
All right. Well, I suggest we keep this conversation about visions nice and short, sweet and short, and we continue with more conversations on multiple topics, whatever comes up. Yeah.
Yes, sounds good. It's bit by bit.
You can find Joe and Cindy on foxdreamer.ca. Sorry, my internet is really unstable because, as always, whenever we speak, there's something preventing us from speaking the truth out there, and there's a big storm out of nowhere that just came up. So that's why my internet is constantly breaking.
Okay.
Yeah, so I apologize for that. Okay, so people can find you on foxdreamer.ca and have energy clearings, have their love life improved, have their, right? It can improve their love life, their material life, their health in general. It will give you a lot of answers to have a consultation with Joe and Cindy. And we have an upcoming group session on Healnlearn.com on the 24th of July. So you're welcome to join us. Thank you very much again.
Thank you.
Thank you, Zorina.
Bye. If you haven't yet, subscribe and hit the bell.